Well, folks, buckle up. Trump is back in the White House and he wasted no time shaking things up. On his very first day, he dropped a bombshell: diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. Gone. Kaput. Trump signed an executive order that wiped them off the map. Remember all those workshops about being nice to your co-workers regardless of their background? Yeah, those might be a thing of the past. Now, for those who don't know, DEI programs were designed to level the playing field. They were supposed to give everyone a fair shot, especially folks from historically marginalized groups. We're talking about minorities, women, the LGBTQ+ community, the whole Rainbow Coalition. These programs aim to open doors and create a more inclusive workplace. But Trump? Well, he called them divisive and a form of social engineering. He claimed that they actually hurt more than they helped. According to Trump, these programs fostered resentment and division instead of unity. He argued that we should be focusing on merit, not identity. So, out with the DEI playbook, and in with, well, we're not quite sure what yet. One thing's for certain though, this decision has sent shockwaves through the country. People are fired up and the debate is just getting started. Is this a step backward for equality or a much-needed correction? Stay tuned, folks, because this is going to be a wild ride. It's important to remember that DEI programs weren't just about ticking boxes. They were about creating a workplace where everyone felt valued and respected. A place where everyone had the opportunity to succeed, regardless of their background. Now, with the stroke of a pen, Trump has thrown all of that into question. Let's be real, folks. This decision hits minorities the hardest. They're the ones who've historically faced the most barriers in the workplace. And now, many fear that Trump's executive order will slam those doors shut again. Imagine being a young black woman just starting her career. You're eager to learn, to climb the ladder, but without the support of mentorship programs, it's going to be an uphill battle. And what about protections against discrimination? Will we see a resurgence of prejudice and bias in the workplace? These are legitimate concerns and they're causing a lot of anxiety and uncertainty. The clock is ticking, and many minorities are left wondering if they'll be left behind in Trump's merit-based America. Remember those diversity hiring initiatives? The ones that aim to increase representation in leadership positions? Well, those are gone too. Trump argues that they amounted to reverse discrimination, but critics say they were essential for creating a level playing field. The fear is that without these initiatives, we'll see a return to the old boys club, where opportunities are reserved for a select few. The stakes are high, people. This isn't just about abstract principles, it's about real people's lives and livelihoods. And for many minorities, Trump's executive order feels like a punch in the gut. Now, it's important to acknowledge that there are two sides to every story. Trump's supporters argue that DEI programs were actually counterproductive. They say that these programs created a culture of victimhood and entitlement. They claim that they led to qualified people being passed over for jobs and promotions simply because of their race or gender. They believe that true equality means treating everyone the same, regardless of their background. They argue that we should be judged on our merits, our skills, and our work ethic, not on the color of our skin or our sexual orientation. It's a compelling argument, and one that resonates with a lot of people. After all, who doesn't believe in fairness and a level playing field? But critics argue that this colorblind approach ignores the very real systemic barriers that still exist for minorities. They say that simply pretending these barriers don't exist won't make them magically disappear. They argue that we need to acknowledge these historical injustices and take proactive steps to address them. For them, DEI programs weren't about giving anyone an unfair advantage. They were about creating a society where everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. So who's right? It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But one thing's for sure, this debate is far from over. So what does the future hold for diversity and inclusion in the workplace? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing's for certain. This is a major setback. Trump's executive order has created a climate of uncertainty and fear, and it's unclear what will replace the programs he's dismantled. Will we see a rollback of the progress that's been made? Will discrimination and bias rear their ugly heads once again? Only time will tell. It's important to remember that this isn't just happening in a vacuum. Trump's decision comes at a time when diversity and inclusion are under attack on multiple fronts. From the rollback of transgender protections to the Supreme Court's decision on affirmative action, it feels like we're moving backwards instead of forwards. But here's the thing, the fight for equality doesn't end with an executive order. It's a continuous struggle. And it's up to each and every one of us to keep pushing for a more just and equitable society. So let's not lose hope. Let's keep fighting for what's right. Let's keep pushing for a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive, regardless of their background or identity. Because at the end of the day, diversity is our strength, not our weakness. And that's something worth fighting for.